It was Big Bubba.
I watched 2 hours and 40 minutes of the. I did very, very, very limited research because I was sick to death of it. The whole of my Sunday was pretty much ruined by this. So if you have something that I don't have, then you can tell me. Macho man. I want to be a macho man. Macho man. And that's my protest for why the Macho Man Randy Savage was not on this show. And you pair made me sit through the worst pay-per-view I've ever watched in history of wrestling. And that includes some of the shit WWE are producing these days.
Yeah.
Sorry, rant over. I'm Rob Campbell, alongside
Daniel. Don't blame me. It wasn't my fault, Cornfield.
What? And I'm Martin. Can you hear me now? Holland.
And just in case you didn't get the reference, that is because we have spent loads of time having technical difficulties once again. As always, this program is sponsored by Technical Difficulties. All of the gimmicks, all of the drama, all of the politics. But let me tell you something, brother. You can get 10% off. Look, if you're easily offended like my mate Conan, then just don't listen. Don't listen to the show. It's as simple as that. I am going to, sometimes get a bit out of hand, as are these boys. But here we are. We are here today to talk about World Championship Wrestling, presenting in storyline mode, New World Order's event called Souled Out from January 25th, 1997. We were in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in the Five Seasons Center.
What a place.
Do you know what? We will talk about the aesthetics of said venue.
That sounds like a place you stop off in your RV on the films. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the NWO did, didn't they, on the way in? So,
well, yeah.
Right, we had 5,120 in attendance versus what is normally considered an 8,600 capacity, but I think when you take into consideration the entranceway and the way that was set up, that's probably your difference. So this was close to a sellout, in my opinion. The buy rate was 170,000, which there's nothing to compare it to in terms of WCW events from the previous year, as there was no pay-per-view in 1996. So this shows how WCW were growing at the time, and what was a good idea in someone's head transmitted into this awful piece of shit that we ended up watching for 2.5 hours plus.
Wow.
I think it was one of them shows where it's like any idea they had, if it could have gone wrong, it went wrong, and then shit the bed as well, just to prove the point.
To be fair, though, half of that was made up of the Miss NWO contest, which I'm sure you'll cover a bit later on. But
oh, God.
That was a strong feature. Strong feature.
Strong feature. That was put over stronger than Hogan.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, if you add up the combined time that the Miss NWO contest had, it probably did last longer than Bell to Bell Hogan versus Giant, which is our main event today. We'll come into all of that and all of the fun bullshit that surrounds it. But for now, we'll get into the start of the show and let's see where we end up. 8 matches to cover, so we'll try to be as quick as we can, folks. So this is the event. Like I've said, it is presented in storyline by the New World Order of Professional Wrestling, brother. And in a snowy Iowa, with garbage trucks, the NWO arrived to the arena. There is one limo, of course there is, because Hulk Hogan's in there with some football players. They won the Super Bowl. I can't fucking remember. Dallas Cable. That's it. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Do you know the names of the players? No one gives.
I actually do.
Yeah, you can tell us later when they make an appearance, mate. two of the things that I noticed there, lads, or a couple of things that I noticed there that I just want to like say was dead strange and weird. But Six, also known as X-Pac, was saying, "Hey, look at me," when he was on a garbage truck. I mean, why?
Yeah.
Why?
What I don't get though is like you turn around and say, "Hey, look at me." It's like the camera's on you. It's recording. What the fuck do you think they're gonna look at?
We're looking at you.
I think he was thinking like it was, I thought he thought it was going to be like dubbed out. So, you know, like how you like do, hey, like you're saying something, but you don't really like, they're going to dub it out to us or like take the voices out and they're going to put some music over it or something. He's just saying some random stuff like, hey, look at me. Just, you know what I mean? No.
Yeah. Dead stupid. Nash, Hall and Bischoff also get little speaking parts. Someone else said something at one stage. Not sure who it was. Don?
I actually could give less of a shit about this segment, so I didn't really
good. And this is how this show's going to go. Hogan was obviously in the limo, like I say. The Dallas Cowboys were mentioned as being there too. The NWO crew, though, when they finally got into the backstage area out of the cold, is the best way I can describe it, was absolutely fucking massive. I couldn't believe how big it was, and this is like early '97. This is January '97, so we're nowhere near how big it actually becomes, are we?
It's only going to get bigger.
That's what she said.
As well. Massive. So
you set me up. I'm gonna do it when it's there. I'm gonna do it.
Say, you set them up on
that's
our.
Also, what you said.
And that's all I got to say about that. So we do get the NWO voiceover guy who, like, I did get the name of. His name's Neil Puri. He used to be a producer at WCW, and they used him when they were putting it all together up in Disneyland in 1996, when we made some black and white videos looking super cool. So I mean. The promos, the interesting promos that were playing before, before it goes, we're live in living colour and all of this. They look loads of fun to shoot. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like Don, Mark, we've all cut promos. We all know they can be, quite fun to do, or quite boring depending on the situation. But 9 times out of 10, we try and have a laugh with it, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we've cut quite a few together, Rob, and I mean. There's one story we could tell about a promo where it took us an hour, and through the course of it, I think we drank like a crate of those.
There was a lot of this involved. There was a lot of that involved.
And a lot of outtakes where we just pop in each other. I mean, 2 sets of sunglasses. I distinctly remember the video of you popping to me.
There might have been a Jurassic Park reference in there somewhere. Shout out to the handicapped virgins. Well, that's what we wanted to call them anyway. So I don't know how to go. Chris Benoit's a nice guy.
Not politically correct.
Yeah. So the original NWO do like a movie intro to pass us over to Ted DiBiase and Eric Bischoff, who are going to be our commentary team for this evening. Miss Elizabeth does make an appearance at this point, taking off one coat of Eric Bischoff and then putting on another. It just all seems rather awkward, lads. I'm not going to lie to you. And then, I mean, Bischoff even tells Ted to turn around and face the fucking camera. It's just awful.
This was the thing, though. Like, Bischoff looked like a dad having a midlife crisis. And DiBiase was having, like, headphone difficulties. So when he's been told to turn around, he's like, oh, there we are.
He's getting all tangled up in the audio. So,
yeah. I'm not going to lie, that popped me. There was no desk, nothing. Yeah. You think, right.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
Your trillionaire Ted, like, you can splash money about. Buy a fucking table.
Nah, man, we want to sit on crates because we want to be completely different to the normal presentation.
Yeah,
okay.
We want to have piles, unlike Shivani or Tanay or Heenan. I'm not going to say Rhodes, he might have.
I mean, hopefully them 3 were like, fucking hell, I'm so glad I got the night off tonight. you know, because this pay-per-view is fucking the shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that then Bischoff tells Liz to take a hike, I'm like, why is he being so disrespectful to Miss Elizabeth? What's that all about? She's the first lady of professional wrestling, lads. I weren't happy about that at all. Not gonna lie, weren't happy about it. God rest.
Is that already -5 stars for you?
Hi. let's move on, shall we? Because yeah, it's there's a very awkward silence before the first match, and it's a theme of the night. All WCW wrestlers. So to give you a little bit of backstory, if you're turning this on for the first time or hearing about it for the first time, it is basically a little bit like the invasion angle that happened with WWF and WCW. Eric Bischoff is trying to create a WCW roster versus an NWO roster at the time. Working really well for him, especially for 83 weeks. However, it obviously ultimately failed. This was an experiment within that. First pay-per-view in January, like I say, there wasn't nothing to compare to it the previous year. And they thought, fuck it, why not? Let's have a go. So it was NWO presenting a pay-per-view called Souled Out. They made it completely different. I really like the entranceway. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think that was the best looking part of the set. They had a lot of women on bikes. They turned out to be contestants in a Miss NWO contest. They're not the type of women that you'd normally expect to see in a Miss something contest. Not all of them anyway. Some of them were extremely hot. Some of them were just biker chicks from Iowa, so it is what it is. And I'm not saying that's not hot, by the way, because some biker chicks are going to be absolutely stunning. I just want to throw that out there. However, these were not my cup of tea with 2 sugars and a bit of milk, please.
I'm going to say we'll speak more about the women and personal opinions during the main part of that segment, but. No, I get what you mean. There was a bit there for everyone.
No, there definitely wasn't, Don.
I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation, a lot like this pay-per-view.
So, just to give you the heads up as well, the referee for the entire night, bar, a spoiler alert, one match, technically, is the NWO official, Nick Patrick. So, first match, we get an awkward silence. The NWO voiceover guy, we give him enough airtime. Neil Pruitt, there you go. I've said his name again for you. He announces Chris Jericho. And Don, I believe you have captured every single version of what he said about whatever wrestler on his way to the ring. So, why don't you go ahead and do our introductions for us?
Okay, so coming to the ring, this is... the first challenger from north of the border, Chris, I should have stayed in hockey, Jericho.
I mean,
that's class. That's funny, ain't it?
That were funny. That
Some
was
of them are
funny.
actually really good. I can't lie. There's some you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
is
and then
wrong with
like halfway down the ramp, like it just goes loser. Look, that's nowhere.
Well, you see, the thing is, I didn't start. I don't remember the loser part being initially like straight off the bat. I think about 2 matches in or something like that. I just hear loser, and like it takes Eric Bischoff and Ted DiBiase by surprise, to be honest. Eric's like looking at Ted, I think, going, "Was that you?" No, it wasn't. You fucking dickhead.
Somebody's just having a laugh backstage, are they? That's how I lived there. Somebody's having a laugh, are they?
This geezer, he's probably literally Nash and Hall are next to him, pouring alcohol down his throat, going, go on, get on the mic and call him a loser. Go on. Have a go.
Loser.
Go on.
Loser.
So anyway, who is Chris Jericho's opponent, Don?
Okay, it is the baddest man from Japan, Masahiro Chono, or as Bischoff referred to him, Masa, my hero, Chono. Which I thought, again, nice wordplay there.
Yeah, nice little wordplay indeed. Turns out that they're also putting him over as the first international signing of the New World Order. I mean, would you agree that that's correct with the people in the ranks at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. He actually would later on become the leader of a side group called NWO Japan in New Japan.
The
Scott Norton
precursor
was a
to
part
Bullet
of
Club.
that as well, wasn't he?
What's that? Sorry.
Scott Norton was a part of that as well. Did Japan?
Yeah, but he wasn't the leader for some reason.
No.
Shona was made the leader.
In politics, the racist Japanese bastards.
Well, he was sort of a bit over in New Japan. He'd sort of got a bit of titles under his belt. He'd done a few things over there.
Wasn't there a Japanese Sting as well?
Yes, in fact, it's the same Sting, the fake Sting.
Right.
Jeff Farmer.
Were he on this show?
What's that? Sorry.
Weren't he on this show? Lined up like, with the NWO somewhere?
He was at the back of the bins.
I thought he was.
On the back of the bins.
I thought he looks a bit like Sting. He does. Is that what's supposed to be going on here? Like,
fake Sting, or as he was referred to by the commentary, Stang.
Stang. I wonder if he ever got a pay-per-view payout.
In Japan, yeah, he got a few.
I'm not talking about Japan, brother. Let's not get political. Let's not get political. We're talking about World Championship Wrestling here, buddy. We're talking about the Attitude Era, 97 to 2001. You're on the wrong podcast. He needs to start his own. He does, Mark.
I don't think he wrestled a match in WCW.
He didn't wrestle a match in WCW.
I could be wrong about that one, but I'm pretty sure he never truly wrestled a match. He was always there was
in a segment somewhere.
Yeah. Basically, get dropped by Stingles, the face at the time.
I mean, what a crock of shit. So let's move on. Let's get in the match. We've got 8 to cover, so let's talk about the match a little bit. So personally, I thought it was a little bit straightforward. It was an opener, but it didn't really excite me. And I know we're watching these backwards, but WCW, obviously, roster members were in the crowd again. So I know that was obviously a different story. December 97 Starrcade, they were there for, the crowning the Sting, really. They're here because I'm guessing they're banned from attending the NWO pay-per-view and they've brought tickets to attend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Shots are taken straight away on commentary by Eric Bischoff. So he basically says, we sold out this lovely arena, the 5-seater centre. I don't know what it's fucking called anymore. I read it earlier. And he says, we didn't need to advertise in 7-Eleven stores. Well, hold on a minute, buddy. Let's just get things straight. It was a Taco Bell that we were advertising out of. Right, I say we like I work there. Hi, Vic. Hi, Trips. Looking for
you was head of marketing at the time, like.
As you can see, I could do with a haircut. So if you don't mind employing me, that would be great. So it was Taco Bell. So go fuck yourself. And also, we filled out a dome with 60,000 people. You're talking about 5,000 people in Iowa.
That's the difference, ain't it?
That is the difference. That is the difference. And we can get Mexican stars too, buddy. So, not very good ones, mind you, but people who eliminate themselves.
I love that Rob. I love that Rob's sitting on the fence, like with this biased opinion.
Yeah.
It's like it's good that he's staying unbiased and he's out there like in between.
I would say, how's your arse cheek? So it must not feel that hard compared to the fucking fence you got up your crack.
No splinters here, buddy. No splinters here.
That's what she said.
So Nick Patrick does this a lot throughout, but obviously he slow counts for Jericho. I like that little camera angle that they do on the handy cam thing.
On the stick.
I think the quality's shit, but the idea is really good.
Yeah, it was definitely ahead of its time for them to do something like that. And a couple of years later, wouldn't WWE start mounting the camera in the corners?
Yep.
So maybe it was a little bit ahead of its time. Just wasn't, the quality wasn't there.
It was the future, like garlic bread.
That's it. Get 10% off Phoenix Life with the code hot 10.
There was a Botchamania.
Only Blockbuster stores.
Only Blockbuster. Nice. I like that. That's good. You can find one of them in most ghetto golfs if you're interested. There is a Botchamania spot in here when Chono comes off the top. Nothing happens. He just comes off the top. Nothing happens.
Yeah, never flying nothing.
Yeah, it was great. Jericho wakes him up with one fantastic chop though, and then he obviously gets him to cut him off with an atomic drop. Then we're in the opener of the show and a fucking table comes out. But hold on a minute, right? Look at the size of that table.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Like
Look, an ironing board.
Table, like...
Yeah, an ironing board.
See, the last time I see tables like that is like usually like in New Japan and All Japan, and the famous botch of.
I am the table.
Exactly. I saw that table and oh fuck, it's not gonna break. It's not gonna break.
Yeah. I've got a tiny table. I'm going to put you through it. Ooh, Joe, no.
Look, he's got a tiny table.
Tiny table. Oh shit. So anyway, Jericho meets the Lion Soul. His knee is hurting. This is part of the story during the match, which means he can't get the cover quick enough. Then all of a sudden he goes back up to the top rope. The commentators do call it out a little bit. So Eric Bischoff and Ted DiBiase make the point of, you got to question his psychology here because, you know, his knee's fucked and he's going to the top rope. And then all of a sudden he's shook through a table. So clearly they were right.
Yeah. One thing about this match as well, I just want to point out, anytime Jericho started using kicks, like for instance, he hit an Insigiri, Bischoff wouldn't call it an Insigiri.
Because he didn't have.
And he got really salty about that.
Yeah.
You could tell he got salty throughout the show.
So, obviously,
jumping from backside kick or something like that.
Nick Patrick clearly does not see this stable spot because he doesn't disqualify Chono. A mafia kick was the way that the commentators position this. Ends the match and the NWO pick up the victory. So Chono beats Jericho in the opener. 11 minutes, 8 seconds. Don, what are you saying?
For me, the match just never got going. Like the two lads on paper should have been a really good match. Should have been a really good match, like good solid opener, and it just. I don't know if sometimes in wrestling people just don't work well together. As good as they are wrestlers themselves, some people just don't mesh well, and I think that was a case of it. There's a couple of botches for the match, and I'm gonna have to give it 1 star. As much as I love both guys in the match.
And Mart?
Yeah, just going back to that reference of like not working together. Do you know, like when you're a football manager and you used to like hack like the squads before you played the game, and you put all the good players on your team. So when you started the game, you had all the good players. You had Figo and Ronaldo and all them older generation players back in the day, Zidane. But then you'd like probably lose every game, but you had like billions of pounds worth of talent on your roster. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the same sort of thing. You know, just because they're all good players doesn't mean they work well. So it's a pretty valid point. That is, to be fair. 2 brilliant wrestlers. 97 was a good year for Jericho as well. I mean, it just didn't work, did it? So yeah, I'd say 1 star.
Yep. Fair dues, lads. I went a little bit higher. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I went 1.5. I think I was quite generous. And I don't want to review it. I do want to keep it at 1.5 stars. I'm quite happy with where I've landed compared to the rest of the show. Spoiler alert. Big Dave, give it 2 stars.
Wow, someone's sucking dick somewhere.
Yeah, someone was smoking some crap that night. But not.
And it wasn't just Sean Waltman.
No, it was not. So not a great start to the show. It's only gonna go kind of downhill from here. So let's move on. So next up, we've got we've got the start of the Miss NWO contest. Basically, I was trying to figure out a way of not shitting all over this, but it's really hard not to do. So Jeff Katz is the man that he's hosting this, and you know this is probably the best he does out the entire show. So we'll I don't know. It's arguable. You can talk about it. I don't really care. I think the bloke is quite charismatic, but if I compared him to Todd Pettingale, I don't know, lads. I don't think I'm with him. I'm
gonna say this is the first time the guy's been on TV.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could tell that. I mean, fair play to him though. Like, I think he had a decent energy. He tried his best with a bad crowd, and I think that's what let him down.
Yeah, it was
everything awkward.
It was a bad crowd. It was unprepared people that were just put in front of a camera, told to do. Just answer what he asks you, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least just slip him a line to say, when he asks you this is your first answer, this is your second answer. Just give him something like, at the end of the day, they're just looking at him like, and he was like,
yeah.
What do you think about this? Is this what? Is this what it is? Is this what you're going to do? And they're just like,
I can't hear you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like,
I think she was ribbing him personally.
Yeah, I think they were ribbing him.
Get the fuck out the section.
So he does the first two here, Don. Is this where you want to go through who they are and a little bit about them, or you want to do that at the end where he announced? We'll do that at the end. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Just see, as you can see, guys, we didn't spend any time fucking rehearsing this shit. He just told me that he made some notes and I just went with it. So life goes on, doesn't it, Mark?
Apparently so.
Anyway, it's a terrible segment, and it literally feels like no one's monitoring it, no one's producing it. It's just Bischoff is supposed to be producing any at the end of the day, but he sat on commentary. He ain't doing as good a job as Vince McMahon. He clearly hasn't got one of them mute buttons on his headset that talks to fucking the Bruce Pritchard equivalent in the back. Also, I don't remember seeing Doug Dillinger on this show either, so where the fuck was he?
I think he was looking after a young Goldberg.
Yeah, I bet he was. So let's move on from that terrible Miss NWO segment, I should say. We go into match 2. And yeah, Don, over to you for the announcements, mate.
Okay, so bit of a pretext for this. Do you want to explain who the match is originally? Because this wasn't actually the build match.
Okay.
So originally, it was Big Bubba.
I watched 2 hours and 40 minutes of this bullshit. I did very, very, very limited research because I was sick to death of it. The whole of my Sunday was pretty much ruined by this bullshit. So if you have something that I don't have, then you fucking tell me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our new segment, a follow-on from last time's Martin meltdown to RC Rattling.
RC Rattling? So it was our mate Ray Trailer versus who originally?
Conan, weirdly enough. So
shout out to keeping it real with Conan.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Yeah, keeping it 100 and Disco Inferno, that guy, yeah.
Let's start that list, guys. Let's start that list.
So originally he was meant to be in a Mexican death match with your boy Big Bubba over here, but he essentially couldn't get there with travel issues because of a booking.
He loves it, doesn't he? He fucking loves it. It's great. I love Conan because if he don't want to do it, he just says he don't want to do it. Also, we sent you a message asking you if you want to come on and have an interview. So if you don't want to do it, just tell us you don't want to do it. Not travel issues. Not travel issues. We got the internet for these days. Just tell us you don't want it.
So we don't like being ghosted, man. Tinder's bad enough.
Yeah, exactly. We all have to deal with that on Tinder. Well, let's be clear. Me and Mart don't. Who does he look like again, Mart?
Zangief, I'll crush you.
So Halloween's costume sorted then. Yeah. So last minute it got changed to Hugh Morris. Because this was last minute, Hugh Morris comes out.
Hold on a minute. Wait, shut the fuck up a minute. Like, you've told me you've captured the NWO voiceovers announcements.
Yeah.
Well, get to it then.
Well, let me fucking get to it before you
Okay.
interrupt, motherfucker.
All right. Sorry, brother. Sorry.
Fuck's sake. So, the man's face is funnier than his laugh, Hugh Morris. I think you're okay over there.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, I feel I've just tested positive for COVID.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Look. Oh. Oh, you can edit this bit out, I'll tell you. Excuse me. Right. Anyway, professionalism. Right, and so that's Hugh Morris, and he's coming up against, this is Bubba. He's going to flatten Conan like a Mexican tortilla in no time. That was the NWO announcer.
So is that what he said?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he day change it.
But they made a new one for Hugh Morris on the fly.
No one smartened him up.
Yeah. Rob, do you want 5
Ray
minutes?
Trailer. Do you think Ray Trailer got in? Once he got out, he was like, "Hang on,
Hi,
Hello,
wrestling
Conan."
coder. What's this big guy doing in a fucking
wouldn't-
tie-dye t-shirt in the ring?
It wouldn't surprise me with the lack of organisation. He actually went out and was like looking around, like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It's crack here, like.
The one thing that I'm really, really, really happy with is it's not the fucking Guardian Angel. That's the one thing that saved this match. The question that I need to ask, because obviously I didn't follow WCW as heavy as I did the World Wrestling Federation, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment for over 50 years. Just apart from those 83 weeks, obviously. Why the fuck was Jimmy Hart with Hugh Morris?
Who wasn't Jimmy Hart with?
I'm going to say this was probably, I think this is
It's a fair
one of
comment.
the members of the family, first family. I believe the name of the stable was. And Hugh was, this was part of his gimmick coming off the back of
the first family sounds like a 1982 gimmick, though. So why are we doing it in 1997?
Because the future of WCW is the 80s of WWF and wrestling in general.
Yeah, just a decade later. Like.
I'm glad you said it as the WCW fans, not me. So obviously this match, there's not a lot to talk about. I think there's one spot that we need to talk about. I mean, two really. First of all, why does Nick Patrick feel that it is appropriate to start talking into the camera?
Nick Patrick was trying to put himself over.
He was massively trying to put himself over.
I'm going to say, I've seen refs in like local shows they've been the only ref at the show, and they've done similar things where they've put themselves over. It's like,
mate, there's no need to talk about Joe like that. I mean, he made it to the WWE. Fucking hell.
I was talking about Den. Well, I'm going to say I've seen Den when he's ref.
No.
I was actually referencing Den.
All right, my mate. All right, my mate. Mart, my mate. Come on, brother. Come on, my mate. Come on, brother. Mentioning
his
Den.
little cotton white socks.
Mentioning Den. Ray pays tribute to him by getting on a scooter. or in this case, a motorcycle. And for the love of God, he runs the man over.
It damn near kills him.
On pay-per-view.
Yeah.
In front of the world.
And quite recently, on Impact, Ethan Page has just died because the Karate Man ripped his heart out, apparently. That's it. They've killed like 97. Whew.
Sorry. I just need this explaining one more time. Ethan Page.
He's dead now.
The Karate Man, who is played by Ethan Page.
The Karate Man is the evil Ethan Page has killed him.
No, actually, I think you find the other way around. The Karate Man's the face, Ethan Page. Although
is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, although
that's it. Yeah. But
this
Dalton was Dalton a heel? was Dalton out a roadhouse? Was he a heel or was he a face? What was he doing? Was he protecting himself or was he being a monster?
So there you go. That was our TNA Impact.
All right.
So anyway, 9 minutes, 3 seconds of bullshit. It is a count-out finish after the running over of Hugh Morris. Jimmy Hart, he's desperately trying to wake him up. Nick Patrick is counting super quick. The crowd are like, get up then. And Jimmy Hart's like, he's not getting up. Anyway, it's a count-out finish. Let's move on. Let's get it over and done with. It lasts 9 minutes, 3 seconds. Don, give me a summary. Half a star.
Quarter.
Quarter of a star. Wow.
Rob?
I just went with 1 star. That's I think that turned up and did a match. So
I think one person turned up.
Which one? Our mate Ray.
I think Ray.
Yeah, we can't slag our mate Ray off, can we? We love the big boss man. He's a friend of the show. Rip the big boss man. Rip the big boss man. So anyway, we're NWO 2, WCW 0. We're back to Jeff Katz with his notes. He has now got notes because he can't memorize his segments and his questions with these women who are competing for Miss NWO. It's terrible. We go back to Eric Bischoff and Ted DiBiase, who start promoting websites. Ted DiBiase looks at it like he's just seen an alien because he's like, I have a website. I'm not sure you know what a website is, Ted. Also, we're filming this on your birthday. Happy birthday, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, buddy. Also, you never won the WWF Championship, I'm just saying.
You did, but...
He brought it. I did give that match 1 star. I already covered that. Moving on. We're match 3 of 8.
Jesus.
So, yeah, have you got introduction to this one, Don, or do you just want me to read who was in the match?
No, I'll go for this. So, match 3. This redneck hails from Music City, USA. It's Double J.
Spend my days looking hard on the go.
Hey, what you singing? New Outlaws, Jesse James music.
Triple J, bro. Triple J. Do you know what's funny about this though? Is we did get Double J Jesse James in the Royal Rumble, and clearly Double J, the real Double J, fucked off to WCW.
Yeah. Bearing in mind as well, the Rumble was filmed a week after this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
So just give you context.
And who was he against? So Jeff Jarrett takes on
Michael Wall Street, who gets fuck all from the announcer. He got nothing.
IRS's career at this point is pretty much dead.
Yeah. He's waiting for 2 kids to come up. That's it. That's all he can really give now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at this point for me, he looks like he's coming to the end of his in-ring career. Like, don't get me wrong, this match is okay. It's a passable match, just like majority of the matches on this show. There's a clear storyline between Double J, Deborah, and Mongo, which we'll get to for the finish. I think it's slow count, slow-paced action. But when I talk about IRS, I think everything that he's still doing is pretty smooth. It's just slowed down because, for me, he's coming to the end of his time. He made his debut in 1981. This is 1997. What I was surprised about when I had a look, because I was a bit curious, I was like, how much longer did IRS carry on? I call him IRS because obviously that was his gimmick in WWE that he's more famous for, the tax man. You know, he was Ted DiBiase's tag team partner at one point, so on and so forth. He's Mr. Wall Street here, so I do apologise to you WCW marks out there. But he actually retired technically in 2003. He went to Japan. So basically in later 1997 he was released by WCW. He went to Japan. He returned in 1999 to WCW to pretty much a little it was only a 6-month stint really, and then he went back to Japan, and then he carried on for another 3 years really, 2000 to 2003. And then, he ended up retiring. He's obviously made a couple of appearances for the WWE since. He's been a road agent there for quite a while, and more famously now, we know him as the father of Bo Dallas, and of course, the bigger brother, the one that did win the big one, the WWE Championship, currently going by the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So, what a contribution to the wrestling industry, eh?
Yeah. Like I say, I mean, I think when it comes to IRS, I in all my notes I've written IRS.
Yeah, so you should.
You know, Michael Wall Street or VK Wall Street or whatever the hell his gimmicks were at this time. Just like, again, I hate companies that like, I'll put a cheeky dig in at someone. It's like, no, just call them a twat and then have done with it.
I was just waiting for Paul Orndorff to turn up, to be honest.
What would be wonderful.
Exactly.
But I actually sort of like this match.
Okay.
Jarrett, I'm always a big mark for Jarrett.
Yeah.
Jarrett has always had one of the matches. Like, think of a bad match he's been in where you've gone, that was fucking horrible because of him.
Royal Rumble 2000.
Royal Rumble 2000.
Not because of him, but it was a terrible match.
Was he? Was he in Royal Rumble 2000?
You sure he wasn't in WCW? He was in WCW at that time?
You're talking about Bash at the Beach 2000, aren't you? With Hogan.
No.
I
was thinking of fucking
China.
Triple for the Intercontinental. Yeah.
Nah, it was China Hardcore Holly and Jericho, wasn't it?
But I think China beat Jarrett. I think China beat Jarrett for the Intercontinental Championship. I think a bit before that.
Yeah, a little bit before that when Jarrett was on his way out.
Yeah, Jarrett held up the company for $250,000.
He was out of contract, or no? He's out of contract, and he still worked it. But
he was out of
Vince
contract.
Man allowed that.
Intercontinental champion. He was owed a lot of money. Vince paid him every penny he owed him, and then went fuck off like he did. You know, that's the common thing with Vince McMahon, isn't it? You come to him and you say, look, buddy, you owe me a shitload of money, like the Ultimate Warrior. I want more money. Yeah, no problem. We'll pay you everything we owe you. Go out and get the job done. Right, here's all your money. Now, fuck off. And I think that just shows the bollocks that he's got to go, actually, you think you can fucking walk over me, buddy, just because you're my champion? Fuck off, lad. Hi, Brett.
I will say this though, that money that Jarrett got from that match, used to make TNA.
There you go.
So full circle with the Karate Man ripping people's hearts out.
Ah, wow. Yeah, so figure 4 gets applied. He gets helped to the ropes by Nick Patrick. Then they go into an abdominal stretch spot. All through the match, Deborah is pleading Mongo to go and help. They end up by the ringside. How Patrick does not spot Mongo clocking the shit out of IRS with the briefcase is beyond me. We get the 3 count. Mongo, Deborah and Jarrett celebrate. WCW get a victory for the first time on the card. We go 9 minutes 22. What did you like about this match, Don?
Jarrett.
Just Jarrett.
And I think Mark's going to say his GOAT, Mongo. No, I think Jarrett looked completely different to everyone on the show. No black. He didn't wear anything black, in pure white and gold boots. Like I say, doesn't have bad matches. He can carry a good match. I just don't like Mongo. I just think the match is weak, but it wasn't bad.
How many stars are you giving it?
I've gone with 1.
Okay.
And 1 again.
Are you colourblind? Because he was definitely wearing silver.
Was he wearing black?
No, he was wearing silver.
Point proven, cunt, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
And Martin?
I've gone 3/4. It was all right. It was just awkward, wasn't it? Towards the end, it was just, I don't know. It's really cringy. It's cringing me. It was just, I don't know. I know it was all the work, and Deb was like, "Oh, you need to help him. You need to help him." Yeah.
You need to help him, Steve. Steve, you need to help him.
Exactly.
So, how many stars did you give it, Mark?
3/4.
You just said sorry. I do apologise. 3/4 of a star. My bad. I did capture it. I gave it 1.5.
Oh, okay. Any reason?
Like I said, everything was pretty smooth throughout. So even though it was a slower match because of IRS's ability, I think that showed off Jarrett Moore because he was able to get in there and work with someone that, has got ability, but has also not held back the hands of time, brother. Superstar. So, I thought the psychology throughout the match was good. The finish was a bit ropey because the referee obviously would have seen it. But yeah, it worked, and it matched what I thought the first match gave. So it was better than the second match, but it weren't better than the first match. It was on par. So I was like, okay, I'll give that 1.5 stars too. Dave, Dave gave it 0 stars.
Dave, you're a cunt.
Jeff Jarrett in there, Dave. Spend my days on a go. Anyway, so we move on to no reaction from the crowd because Jeff Katz is back. He's asking a question about the women, as he puts it. I'm going to ask the women some questions. Okay, sound. We move on. It's match 4. And it's former tag team partners facing off in this one. Don, have you got some introductions for me?
I have indeed. Here we go. He's always been number 2, American male loser, Scotty Riggs. And he's up against, here he comes, he's buff Marcus Bagwell. That's all he gets.
Loser.
Loser. Oh, of course, sorry. Throughout the show, from about now, I'd say the loser thing gets really put over.
Middle of the matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
loser.
Honestly, it's timed.
Yeah.
There's someone there that's doing it purposely, and it's timed so well at times. It's this is like the first match where there was actually something of a story going into it.
Yeah.
So, which for me was quite a relief to actually have something like, oh, here's something where there's a bit of heat.
Yeah.
So the American males, the former teammates, were teaming until I believe December.
Is that when the strip club kicked them out and said no work for you anymore, lads?
Basically, Bischoff and the NWO said, "Look, anyone wants
Buff's
to join?"
the stuff.
And Buff decided to join, and my fucking microphone is possessed.
That's what happens when you get it off the back of a van, buddy.
Don't know what you're on about. All legal. But yeah, this is like the first match where I was like, okay, there's something going into it, and I'm happy for that. So, and plus, like we said on the last show, Buff Bagwell, a pretty good wrestler. And I think this is a good example of this.
So what did you make of the match in general then?
It's hard to say. Like, for me, Buff, his charisma showed through. Him as a real heel, being a smarmy heel was brilliant.
Scotty that goatee works wonders for that gimmick, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't so keen on the choker, BDSM choker he was wearing. Needs more top hat. Although, Mark, what did you think of Buff's ring jacket going to the ring? Is you all the connoisseur?
I love it.
It was good. It was a nice one.
I had a feeling that you'd love it. I was like, it's not as good as the last one that we've seen, but obviously we're watching them the wrong way round, aren't we? Yeah. So this is like this is my start out point in terms of my ring jacket, and that's how it ended up at Starrcade, which was obviously full on edge status, if you like, in terms of a ring jacket as you referred to it.
Yeah, and this is the start of Buff as well. You know, he was just known as Marcus Bagwell in the American Miles, and this is the start of his heel. How can you be attitudey? How can you be cool with the NWO? And that was his answer to it. So when the top hat and all that kicked in, wow.
I know. I'll bring my mum along so she can have an influence of booking.
Mum, can you get off that forklift for us?
Yeah, if you don't mind, go and have a sit on that forklift for a little bit.
Get up there,
I can't wait to cover this sort of shit because I know that's something that we're going to obviously do, haven't we, surely?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so obviously, like you said...
Robocop's not going to be a part of it, to be fair.
I know.
That's all I've got to say about that.
All right.
Look, we will. But this is the beauty of it, isn't it? So right now we are covering the Attitude Era. But what's saying that we don't do 93 pay-per-views next or 95 pay-per-views next? RoboCop, I promise you, will be covered at some point. Because my God, it's RoboCop! It's one of the best. It's one of the best calls in wrestling history. I don't care. He's up there with the Yeti. And by God, as my witness, he's broken in half. It's all JR. I think the Yeti was Tony Schiavone, but fuck it.
Yeah, that was Schiavone.
So this. Yeah, go on.
I actually like the match, and interesting fact about this match as well. Just jumping to the finish. This was the debut of Buff Bagwell's new finisher at the time.
Yeah.
The Buff Blockbuster.
Yeah, the announcers put it over quite heavy that he'd been talking about debuting a new move if he had the opportunity to use it. And the culmination of the match obviously ends with this new move being shown.
The Blockbuster. What did you think of it? The first time?
Considering it was the first time, I think he delivered it very, very well, to be honest with you. We're talking 1997. I don't think I'd really ever seen this move at that time. And, it's only recently that you see it every single week on Raw, for example, or pay-per-view. So Seth Rollins, obviously, does Seth Rollins use it? He does, doesn't he? I'm not making it up.
I think, he does.
It feels like a Seth Rollins move.
Yeah. But why not?
I've got him and Finn Balor in my head, but it's definitely more Seth Rollins. Yeah, they both do that too.
Yeah.
That's how WWE works these days. So yeah, you do that move. I do that move too. Oh, carry on.
It's the same show. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. I'm on first, so I'm going to use it twice. Okay, I'm on in the main event, so I'll use it once. Okay.
Psychology, kid.
Psychology. So this match though does have a bit of psychology to it, as you said. Two tag team partners, former tag team partners, getting at it. I think it was nice and fast compared to what we'd seen so far, and pretty much what we're about to see for the rest of the show, to be completely honest. So it was a different pace to it. They get enough time. 13 minutes 51 seconds. I think there's some good maneuvers in the match. So there was a good belly to belly suplex at one point, but it pretty much gets a no sell from Buff. Scotty Riggs, he don't look too bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Scotty seemed like one of them guys. He could go, but there was nothing behind him as a gimmick.
Yeah, and I think
that's the problem with a lot of guys at this time. They hadn't quite found their niche.
Do you know who comes to mind?
Go on.
Paul Roma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good wrestler. I mean, even in Power and Glory.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like, I love, personally, one of my favourite tag teams of all time, Power and Glory.
Well, I wouldn't be, I'm not surprised looking like the fucking warlord down there.
Oh, if I only had that stat right now.
I know where it would be going. So I did a bit of research on Scotty Riggs, just to see, you know, what was it all about? What happened? You know, so on and so forth. So, yeah, basically, he was released in 1999. He went to ECW. They folded. He moved to a company then called Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling, where he became a three-time heavyweight champion. The company then folded in 2003. A bit of a theme here. Riggs, he then unfortunately did suffer with some personal issues outside of the wrestling business. So a divorce, and then his dad developed lung cancer and passed away in 2004. Riggs then briefly returned in 2007 to 09, really. So for the AWA World Championship Wrestling, and he made a couple of appearances even in TNA. Good old Jeff Jarrett there, as we've talked about, and Killer Karate People and Ethan Page in 2009 before officially retiring. Believe it or not, he debuted in 1992, so he had a good run, really.
Yeah, he did. And as we've seen, you'll go through this, like, we've got another 2 years where you'll see his projection of a character. So I'll be quite interested to keep an eye on someone like a Riggs.
Okay. That's good. We do get to see Buff's Fong and his ass. That was interesting. I got rather excited when I saw that.
I'm gonna say that stick cam came into use because you only got side view of it and not full view. So kudos to the.
I've got an imagination, brother. I've got an imagination.
All the things all over the tape and it'll do.
So I don't think there was anything really to get excited about other than Buff's Fong. And then it ended with the obviously blockbuster, and it was job done. 30 minutes, 51 seconds. Buff Bagwell Buff Bagwell takes the victory. Don, chat me up.
Well, hello, sexy.
Hey there.
Do you come to this Zoom meeting often, or
did you just come for my meeting code or my WhatsApp? Send nudes.
Send nudes, or I'll put the country in tier 5.
Don't go outside. Please go outside.
Lockdown has made us crazy. Hence why this podcast is sponsored by all the difficulties.
Difficulties in life, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it's come to.
I actually really enjoy. I think up to now, this is the best match on the card, easily.
It's as bad as the fucking pay-per-view. This is. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. So
I'm actually having more fun talking about it than I ever did watching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, true that.
This match actually gave me a bit of hope for the show. There was like a moment I was like, actually, you know what? If the rest of the card starts going this way, it could be good. I actually enjoyed this match. I've given it 1.5 stars. That being said, I actually really like it. Mark, what you got?
I'd say 1 3/4.
Oh.
Well, you're making it difficult for me.
Oh, you in the quarters, man.
Why?
That's not how spreadsheets work for averages, mate. You just look at a little bit like,
you need to sort your formulas out.
Yeah, done half, mate. I've done half. Yeah. I need a bit of a Google experience for sheets, I think.
Of course, like
I'm just making numbers up as we go along now for when you fucking say something. Yeah, 3/4 stars, 0.75. There you go. That'll do. I think I'm right. So, you know, life goes on, doesn't it?
So, what about you, Rob?
No, I forgot. So I rated it 1 star.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about that. And Dave rated it 1 1/4 star. So who's been reading the ratings now, prick?
What said 3/4, not 1 1/4?
Yeah, I've had a bit to drink, so
Oh, was you talking to me?
No.
I got you back.
Oh, okay.
I got you back.
Nah. I wouldn't do that. Let's move on to the next segment. So we're on to match 5. We have we have 2 wrestlers. Yeah, do you want to announce them, Don?
Okay, I have to be honest now. This is the one match where I wasn't clear on what your boy Neil was saying. So I've done my
That was
best.
his name. Well done. That was his name. I had to double check. That was sort of the look. I was like, Neil, who the fuck's Neil? And then I realised that it was the voiceover guy again.
Yeah. So this was the one where I wasn't 100% clear. So bear with me on this one. This Scoob, Diamond Dallas Page, has a chance. Good luck with that.
Okay.
Bischoff and DiBiase were talking over him so much I could not figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you was not aware, that was Diamond Dallas Page in a spiffing waistcoat and a beautiful cigar. And he's against fuck knows what Neil said. Neil could have just turned around and said he murdered every person in the greater Iowa state and has buried them. Scott Norton.
Yeah, so it's your boy Scott Norton from Japan.
Japan.
And yeah, so I don't know what to say really about this match. I don't think it was the best match that either men could have had. I think it was another slow, passable match, just like a lot of the matches on this card. There was a couple of nice moves throughout. Smoking the cigar, DDP in the corner when he gets thrown in the corner at the very beginning. I thought that was, all right. The voiceover gets involved again, loser. But lads, do not, I repeat, do not blow your load. But Sting appears.
But what does Sting do, Rob? What does he do?
Well, Sting does what Sting does best, and that's stand there in the crowd watching like an absolute stalker.
Now, I think you find when you're talking about a vigilante, that's what they do.
Oh.
I will never hear a man talk shit about Steve Borden, and if they do, I will murder them.
I'm the Batman.
Even if Steve Borden himself is talking shit about himself, I'll kill him on principle.
Oh wow!
I love the character. Making a murderer season 5, Daniel Cornfield on a podcast. I really like this match up to a certain point.
What's a certain point, Don?
Oh, okay. So I've got my notes here. Let me get this right because there's a fucking gaggle of jobbers. So
this is the time in 2021
yeah,
when Daniel Cornfield discovered Microsoft Notepad.
Fucking brilliant. He also found fucking Minesweeper.
Rob, don't text you. He messaged you, didn't he? He messaged you saying, Rob, fucking hell, look at this game here. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, he went, where shall I start? I went, obviously the corners, if you're brave enough, like,
Yeah. What do these numbers mean, Rob?
Just see how it goes, buddy. See how it goes.
I thought it was the Matrix. I thought this is how the Matrix works, and if I did it, I became the one.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Before you go into this, obviously the reference throughout the match is how Diamond Dallas Page could have joined the NWO. So yeah, I'll let you lead into where I think you started to hate this match.
Okay, so the beginning of the end of the match. Buff Bagwell.
I need more.
Virgil. He's called Vincent in WCW. But fuck you, it's Virgil. Big Bubba and your boy Michael Wall Street come down to the ring and offer him a spot in the NWO.
Yep.
Page takes said spot.
Puts on the shirt and everything.
Yep. And while they're all celebrating, Norton walks into a diamond cutter.
Hmm?
And then everyone gets their shit kicked in by one man, and then he legs it.
He does.
Bonus question, Dan.
Yeah.
Bonus question. Whilst walking down to the ring, all the time that the mic is in Buff Bagwell's hands,
Yeah.
how many times does he tell Diamond Dallas Page he's got the style?
3.
I don't know the answer. Like, I'm just, I thought you might not know the answer. Like.
Brilliant.
It's
Absolutely.
like he blew his load. He blew his load before he even got down them steps on what he was going to say.
I
And then
get
he
to
just
go to
started like
promo.
recycling. Yeah.
Me on a pay-per-view?
Promo.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Totally blew his load.
Oh,
Blew his load near the bottom of the stairs, and he didn't know what to say then, so he just kept repeating himself.
he was a happy boy about it, and I'm happy for him.
Mm.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
So, as Forrest Gump put it, Diamond Dallas Page did a runner. Nick Patrick cuts a promo at the camera saying that he makes a decision that Scott Norton wins the match by countout. So the NWO go 5-1 on this pay-per-view. Yes, someone is keeping score here. We went 9 minutes, 39 seconds. Yeah, just give us your star rating and let's move on.
I'm going to say 1.5 stars.
Okay. Mark, you can have a little bit longer, mate, because he's already talked about what he hated about the match.
Yeah. The only reason I haven't gone into quarters because I'm not Mart over here. Otherwise, it would have been a 1.25. The end just ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Badly ruined it. I thought it could have been a good match. What as good for this show is. Mark?
I'd have said 1.25, but as soon as I ain't doing quarters no more, I'll go with 1.
You're good for quarters. I'm not doing them.
Look, I'll put you down as
Rob,
1
how many quarters?
So,
how many quarters do I have to make up a 1 now?
Your average for this show so far, Mark, is 0.99 stars.
Oh, okay. I'll fuck that up here.
You have to rate these 5 stars just to get the average back.
Well, no, spoiler alert, nothing's going to get 5 stars on this show. Google Docs has crashed. Zoom has crashed.
Oh, fuck. Okay, do you want me to carry on this train?
No.
Let me off the
We're back. We're live, pal. We're live, pal.
Oh, you've paused.
Hold on.
I can hear you, but I can't see. Yep, you're good.
Remember them days, Mark, when it was just me and you going through all this shit? At least Don now knows what it's like.
Yeah.
And then fucking one day Zangief decided, like, can I have a go at this?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I rated this one 1 star. Dave rated it 1.5. We get more Miss NWO nonsense with Jeff Gatz, best way I can put it. Now, this is where I started to get a little bit excited. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. They've built it up. We've got some fucking big matches ahead of us now, lads. So the show is about to be saved. To sum that statement up, that was bullshit, but we'll go through it anyway. So match 6 is for the World Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championships, and is scheduled for 1 fall.
So, coming to the ring first, look at these 2 dog-faced Michigan mutts. Mongrels Rick and Scott, the Steiner brothers.
That's my personal favourite. Yeah.
And
that's my personal favourite one. And you know what? Scott Steiner looked fucking furious.
Yeah,
like, he looked over towards Eric Bischoff and he was like, if you watch it, he looked over at Eric Bischoff and he's like, as you say, what the fuck?
He was looking for someone to kill.
He was furious.
The guy. I think I heard a rumour recently.
Loser.
That person. You're still looking for that person to this day.
I mean, it only takes a quick Google, mate.
Yeah, but he's working on a different level to us.
He's
working with Dynamax.
His fucking math can't work it out. That's class. And
That's not words, mate.
who may the Steiner brothers be facing?
Okay, so these two superstars are charter members of the NWO. They're known as the Outsiders. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the NWO Tag Team Champions.
They are the tag team champions. I just can't believe that in Starrcade 97, we were talking about these two same teams in, a similar sort of storyline that obviously continued for the whole of 12 months. So I'm really interested how it all plays out on the build up to Starrcade, in all fairness. The main noticeable difference for me to begin with is that the Outsiders, obviously being who they are, get the full NWO music and not the jobber version.
Yeah. Just a quick question for you two. How many matches did it take for you to get fed up of that bullshit music, the NWO B team music?
Just one count.
Yeah, because I think after the second match, I was like, just no one have music. I'm done with it now.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
I was done with this show. I was done with this show after the first match.
I told you, I had to have a nap watching this just to get through the second half. I had to have a nap.
I mean, you see, at this point, the crowd start waking up. The crowd have been dead. We haven't talked about the crowd the entire show so far.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, because they might as well be wrestling in front of no one or in front of the Thunderdome screens at this point, because literally there is no reaction. I think, all right, that's probably a little bit unfair. There was hardly any reaction throughout the entire show.
Yeah, I think with like the exception of DDP signaling for the Diamond Cutter,
yes,
that got again another huge reaction.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, that's probably the only reaction. Oh, and Mongo trying to kill Michael Wall Street with that suitcase.
Mongo.
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo.
I do love there is an entire page dedicated to Mongo botches out there on Twitter, and I just think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mongo
think we all are. I
friends.
can't. There you go, Mongo with friends. There you go.
Today, Mongo with his friends on Twitter.
You can get 10% off their page. So I don't know. I did get kind of excited, but I think the crowd are only involved because the Steiner brothers act like an 80s tag team, and that's clapping them along and warming them up, so to speak.
To be fair though, like it's only what, is it 5,000 crowd?
Yeah.
Or 6,000 crowd, was it?
5,000.
So put into comparison. Yeah, so put into comparison, like you got, it's not like a massive sellout, is it? I don't know, NXT, the Full Sail pre-COVID attendance was probably not even touching that again. So you do get that type of high-end independent like feel, don't you, I suppose, with mega overpaid superstars. The difference being that. Yeah. But the crowd should have been more into it. But like I said, nothing was offered, was it? So
no.
Can't really blame them.
Scott, go on.
Sorry. I think the fact is we've all worked for crowds where it's been a small crowd, but sometimes they're the loudest crowd you can get.
Yeah, I mean, our small crowds are 34, their small crowds are 5,000.
Yeah, but even then, it's the same things. Like, I've worked in front of crowds of 20 where everyone in that crowd has been up for it, and they've sounded louder in a room of 100.
Yeah. All right.
I've worked in front of a crowd of 12 people, and 2 of them was a pushchair and a baby. So, yeah.
We haven't topped them, so who's worked against less? 5. I've worked 5. And the crowd was dead.
Was that me and you in the main event?
No.
Fucking hell. That says it all, doesn't it? So Scott Hall delivers some nice moves in this match at the beginning, especially at the beginning when he's beating on Rick or beating off Rick, and then Nash comes in and delivers some nice punches and kicks.
Nash gets a decent pop when he first comes in.
Yeah. It's a good punch.
Yeah, it does.
It's a good thumb, that is. Harlem Heat get pointed. in the crowd with Sherry.
What a fun.
What a fun. Sherry as former champs. Scott Steiner then delivers a fantastic belly-to-belly suplex, it must be said, on Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that was good. Scott Steiner must have knocked Nick Patrick down at one point, and it was caught off camera.
Well, I never spied this.
There was a big pop. There was a big pop. And then Scott Steiner runs round and hits Scott Hall down because they're double teaming Rick. And
yeah.
The only explanation, because Nick Patrick's not in the ring when it happens, and he goes to stop Scott Steiner from getting round to him. So the only explanation that I've got is that Scott Steiner does chin Nick Patrick because there is a pop from the crowd. But again, it's not on camera. The announcers, they kind of react to it because they say that's disgraceful from Scott Steiner. Whether that's just because he ran around the ring and hit Scott Hall. But like I say, it just wasn't caught on camera, so it might not have happened. But Nick Patrick disappears for a few seconds. Yeah. So
I think Nick Patrick went into the future where he had no sleeves.
He went 88 miles per hour.
And saw the future of no sleeves and went, one day.
We're still deciding who the ref is.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking, what was his name? Not Jerry Jarrett, you know. Who was the bloke? What's his name? JJ Dillon, that was it.
Yeah.
Him and his big spliff giving Gene Okerlund the outcome of the referee ballet. Fucking hell. Oh. What a crock of shit. So anyway, nice hot tag from Scott Steiner. Patrick gets knocked to the outside. The Razor's Edge gets it, and yes, that's what I'm calling it. Followed by loser. but there's obviously no ref for the finish. Top rope bulldog from Rick. Randy Anderson jumps the railings. There's obviously, as we know, some of the WCW roster was in the crowd. He's wearing a tactical turtleneck, and he quickly tells Scott that he will make the count. In he goes. 1, 2, 3. We technically, because the bell rang, have new tag team champions. Obviously, Bischoff and DiBiase are kicking off on commentary. I'm not letting that stand. I'm going to the championship committee. They spend far too long fucking talking about the outcome of this match.
Oh, yeah.
Even before, during, and after the next match starts, they're still on about it.
Yeah.
But this match goes 14 minutes and 43 seconds. It was a pile of shit. It should have been a lot better. Yeah, Dan, what are you saying?
Like we said earlier, this is probably the best reaction from the crowd so far in the night, like for one match.
Yeah. Is that purely down to the names in the ring versus the quality of the match?
I'd probably say so, because I mean, Nash on his first tag comes in and there's a pop, and he's done nothing. He stepped over the top rope.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Scott Steiner looks like a boss in this match. Like, he genuinely looked like he could have quite happily taken Hall and Nash, and he'd be like, yep, Scott Steiner can do that. Rick's just come along for a giggle.
Yeah, and the commentators were making a point of that, wasn't they? Because Scott was
the most unbiased. This is probably the most unbiased I'd heard the commentators that night up to that point.
Yeah.
They did say, oh, if a guy was good, they'd be like, actually, no, he's a good wrestler, he's a good athlete. Scott, they put over hard. For me, for the match, I've got to say 1.5 stars again. It was a good match. The ending, it was a nice bit of comeuppance. It was a nice bit of a baby face getting one over, which I like that.
Yeah.
The match was a decent match. 1.5 stars.
WCW end up pulling the deficit back to 5-2. Mart?
I think I'm going to have to go a 1.25 again. Just for shits and giggles, like. No, but like what Don said, it was a shit match, but the finish was quite creative. I can see what they was trying to do. It was
love it. It was a shit match. Love it.
you know, just for the creative at the end and the names in the ring, and you know, it was all right.
Yeah, it was bearable, wasn't it? So I've also rated it 1.5 stars. Dave has rated it 1.25 star, Mart. Yeah.
Would you like to know something that happens after this on the Monday afterwards?
Yeah, go for it. If we're gonna find it interesting, then yeah, let's have it.
Yeah, that decision gets reversed.
Yeah, cool. Spoiler alert.
It actually got reversed.
I could have told you that at Sarcade 97 because the storyline was still going on.
Oh, no.
Oh, hello, mate.
Sorry about that. My phone has decided life is not worth living talking about this match.
Did I'll nearly come on and take a shot then? Yeah.
No, my balls.
Why?
Yeah, like, they got stripped of the belt because it wasn't an official ref, and Randy Anderson actually got fired from WCW.
Yeah, I do actually remember that. So that was one of the nights that I did flick over, funny enough. And actually, I love Randy Anderson, so I was quite emotional watching it when they bullied him out and fired him in front of the announce table, if I remember rightly.
With his kids and his wife as well.
Yeah, kids and his wife. It was fucking harsh. I was like, Eric Bischoff is a prick. That's unbelievable, Jeff. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, match 7 of 8.
Yeah.
So anyway, we move into match 7. It's the World Championship Wrestling United States Championship is on the line. It is a ladder match. And our referee is again Nick Patrick. Who have we got in the match? Daniel Cornfield.
Okay, so this is the Mexican jumping bean, Eddie Guerrero.
That's popped you hard, that has.
Who is actually the champion at this time. He's actually the champion.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
he didn't walk. Oh, okay. Because I was going to say he didn't walk. And this is the confusing thing for me. So I've never watched this before, right? I've never seen this pay-per-view before. I'm not sure of the build-up massively. It's just watch it, see how it is, and do a bit of research behind it, so to speak. So when Six walked out with the championship, because there was no ring announcer.
Yeah, it definitely does help. He is the ultimate swinger and the true US champion of the world, Six.
Yeah, I mean, he hadn't banged China at this point, so he definitely weren't a swinger. But yeah, we're back to jobber music for Six, I think.
Yeah.
It was kind of a surprise to an extent, but at the same time, it wasn't.
I would have thought that being that he's a member of the clique, he would have had some of his own music.
And I think
he's walking about with a bloody championship belt. So he's gone to Big Sexy. He's like, "What can you do for me, huh? What can you do for me, Kev?" And he's like, "Stick with me, kid. Stick with me, kid. I'll be bucking this shit soon. Stick with me. What belt do you want? Do you want that one? Do you want that one? Oh, Scott, put that beer down. Tell him what belt you can have. Hey, yo." You know what I mean?
Fucking hell, this is brilliant. What I want to...
When can we get the sock puppet version of that? Mark, when can we get that version with the sock puppets?
I'll make
pay
some.
for that. Holding you to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob, but just sorry.
It's all right, lad. So what I want to know is why these two individuals, so obviously Six fucks off the next year back to WWF anyway, but why is it, or why do we think that Eddie Guerrero is in a United States Championship match in January of 97, but in December of 97, he's back in the Cruiserweight Championship match? What happens?
I think this is the point where, like, a lot of the cruiserweights had started to break through the glass ceiling, as it were, where people had started to notice that they're not just high flyers. There's some really good technical wrestlers, like you'd have your Benoits, your Guerreros, your Saturn, basically the Radicals. Think of the Radicals.
Jericho was in that cruiserweight.
Jericho as well, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was a lot of guys who were breaking that ceiling, and I think that was a point that was like, Bischoff was probably like, okay, let's give you a chance. You've put on arguably the best matches of the show. Let's give you a chance. So they started giving him like the US belt and the TV title. But I think by the end of the year, they just went, nah, get back to the bottom. Some people up top have said something, brother. But yeah, it's a shame because main reason why I watched WCW was the cruiserweights.
Yeah.
It was so incredible to watch back then, still is now, as we've proven with the watch-alongs.
Yeah, without a doubt. Mark?
What?
Anything to add to that?
Oh.
You cunt, I was taking a drink now, I spat. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, what that guy said.
You were so disgusted that I even bothered asking you a question. It was like I just shot like someone that you deeply care about. Do you know what I mean? I'd just come up to you and gone, look, Mark, watch this. Bang. How do you feel about that? And your reaction was, what? What?
Well, that woman.
Oh, I think like
Jeff Katz asked you a question, what are you doing? He was like, sorry, I can't hear you. was you in this NWO 97 there? Just quick question there. Just quick.
No,
I'll
like,
ask you a question when we get to it.
Okay. No, in terms of that, like what Don said, it's
so I think this match. Nah, go on, Mark. Go on.
They'll take your ally.
Sorry, brother. Oh, wait, he's left. He's fucking had enough. He's gone. No, he's back.
You gonna play nice now or what?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I apologise.
I'll fucking take my ball home. Yeah, all right. I'm over it now, yeah. All right.
Go on then.
Yeah, well, I think what Dan said.
I want to break the... Go on. What did Dan say? I promise that's it now. I promise.
I agree with what Don said. All right.
Agree with. That's it. Job done. My microphone's falling off the windowsill.
That's karma, mate. That's karma right there. Oh, fuck.
What's this?
I'm just going to hold it like this for the rest of the show now. It's
fucking unbelievable, Jeff.
It's
Why have you got a boom on when you've got a fucking stand for your mic?
You're going to put a camera on to film them up.
You can look at Bubba Ray over here. Fuck you know.
What you need to do is hang it off your back like Predator and have it hooked over into your face.
So anyway, this ladder match is presented.
Oh, Conan's going to fucking tune into this podcast and he's going to watch this particular moment. He's going to scroll through all the fucking shit and he's going to watch this particular moment and he's going to think, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah.
And I've got to ask the same question.
And he's going to say, hey, yo, Disco, put him on the list. And Disco's going to go, yo, man, what you mean, man? What you mean? We put him on the list, huh?
Shout out to Glenn. So
they're going to watch this, or anyone's going to watch this and think, there's one bloke there who's got a boom handle for his fucking microphone. Another bloke over there doesn't understand the concept of impression. And the fucking guy looks like Zangief. He's taking the piss out of everyone.
So, yeah. So anyway, back to it, because if anyone gets this far into the show, fucking hell, they've done better than what we did covering this paper. So, yeah, yeah, this has the potential to
Oh.
absolutely steal the show because of who's in it. We don't really get that. The crowd, however, are involved and they're invested in Eddie Guerrero particularly. They, chant Eddie quite a few times during the match, which is good. Ted DiBiase on commentary, all the time he's going, Scott Hall's taught him all the tricks of the trade because, he created the ladder match and so on and so forth. Never heard so much bollocks in all my life. Why was Nick Patrick in the ring?
Nick Patrick needs to put over Nick Patrick in this.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sandy agrees with that too. So I think it is a decent match all in all. Eddie's massively over. Like I've said, we've talked about why Eddie goes back to the cruiserweight division, for example. The drop kick off the top of the ladder from 6. That for me was like the biggest risk spot in here. And there was some innovative moves throughout the match. I think not. It wasn't a 5-star classic, but the finish basically involves the pair of them unstrapping the belt together, dragging it down. I thought, how the fuck are they going to reach that? But instead, what they just grab up and pulled it down like there was no tension on it whatsoever. Yeah. It's a bit of a scrap. They fall off the ladder. Eddie ends up picking the belt. Nick Patrick's fucking gutted. And yeah, obviously, I thought Eddie Guerrero was the new United States Championship champion even. But it turns out, according to you experts, that he just retained his championship.
Yeah, like the reaction from the crowd would have made you believe he'd won the belt. Like you would have believed that, and you clearly did. You fucking mark.
Correct.
Nothing wrong with marking out for that guy. Nothing wrong with that. Best match of the show.
Yeah.
For me, best match of the show by far. I never really seen Six or X-Pac work like this. So this was quite eye-opening for me. I'd seen him do all the kicks like his karate style, but I'd never seen him do like the flip plancha to the outside on Eddie.
Yeah, you didn't see him rip anybody's hearts out or anything like that.
No, none of that. An early version of the Bronco Buster as well with less thrusting, which I always approve of less thrusting in my Bronco Busters.
Not unless Kelly's doing it.
Well, we'll set up a different Zoom meeting. We'll talk about it there. Shame about the finish of the match because you can tell what they were trying to do, but obviously the belt just dropped, and Eddie had to jump off the ladder to then get the title. But other than that, it's by far the best match of the show. I've given it 2 stars.
Mark?
You just think I'm just going to say this now. And like, you don't even like that at all. Like, everything that I'm about to say, Dan's already said it. And like, you fucking ripped my arsehole out. Whatever it is that you want to fucking do to me. But I'd say 2 fucking stars as well.
I said 2 stars too.
Any reason?
Can I just say, like, ladder matches have moved on a lot, ain't they, since 1997?
Yeah,
Sold Out.
The thing is, Mark, you say that, but when we look back at WrestleMania 10 in '94, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon put on a fucking classic that would hold up to any ladder match that they put on today, as far as I'm concerned. So the blueprint to go out and improve on that was there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Hardy Boys, Edge Christian, the Dudley Boys, they really did take it to the next level.
But I think that was due to the amount of people in the ring and the fact is they used other things as well.
Yeah, of course.
They had to go beyond that.
But yeah, they did get obviously other weapons involved. I mean, the WrestleMania 2000 match, which is obviously a few years out from this, was billed as a triple threat ladder match. ultimately was the precursor to TLC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
These,
I think,
you see, I think the thing that was probably letting them down at the time.
Tables and ladders and chairs. Oh my.
Oh
Sorry.
no, it's cool. You've got to say it. It's got to be done. Whereas
Yeah.
I think at the time here, Eddie hadn't developed enough to put on the, where the fuck is Vicky type of matches.
You mean by like the end of the year, as we've like, I think Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, I think he starts to put on better matches, absolutely, and I think he has. I think working with Dean Malenko more and more would help with that, because obviously Dean Malenko is one of the great producers now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, I just don't think he would have had it in relation to the difference between a really good match or an average match, so to speak, like this one, and being able to lead it as well. Because 1, 2, 3, Kid, 6, X-Pac, Sean Waltman. Without being horrible, I don't think he could ever really put on a match of a massive amount of quality unless he was in there with someone who could really think for him and carry his weight.
Yeah. No, I'd have to agree with that. I'd agree with that. I mean, my only issue with, like, especially with X-Pac run in WWF when he gone back later this year.
98.
98, whatever. Fuck off. WWF.
Also, I love that you said egg pack, like a 6-pack of eggs, like master.
Make sure you get the happy ones, though. Make sure you get the happy ones, though. Yeah.
Get one egg off at Lion Eggs with the code hottag10.com.
Nice.
Yeah, like, I always felt his matches were very samey. He'd hit the same spots in the same time. And yeah, like, no respect, I actually like the spots you do. It's just, you see it the same over and over again, it gets samey. So this to me was a bit of an eye-opener. So maybe I need to reevaluate what I see out of X-Pac, Sean Waltman, 6, 1, 2, 3 Kid, little bitch, whatever you want to call him.
All of the gimmicks. So 2 stars. We've all rated it 2 stars, so I think we're on the money there. Big Dave, 4 stars.
Wow.
Madness. Moving on to the pre-main event as we go in with the NWO at 5, WCW at 3. So we know that NWO are taking the win regardless. We get the finale of the Miss NWO competition, and it's just awkward as fuck. Don, if you want to take us through the contestants then, please, seeing as you've got some information on them that you've made some notes on Notepad 98.
Yeah. So after playing Doom, I decided to go back and take a note of a name and a hobby or a quote. So I'm just going to give you the footnotes version. I'm not going through every person.
Thank God.
The first person, hobbies, tapping kegs and shooting pool, which, not going to lie, sounds like my sort of girl.
Spend my days looking hard on the go.
Rob, would you be willing to say the shirt you're wearing now is a bowling shirt, or you go bowling in it?
I'd do fucking anything in this shirt, mate. It's a jet one.
That's good, because number 2 said men with bowling shirts, turns are on.
Okay.
Granted, it's probably about 25 years ago, so, but, if you like them old.
Bowling shirts are them shiny polo things, ain't they?
Yeah.
You know them striped ones that everyone was wearing the other year? Them ones.
You mean like the one you're wearing now?
No.
I'll admit I'll call him. Okay, here's another one. Connie Lepper with her favourite quote, "Shut up, you brats." I think she was a bus driver, a school bus driver.
I think she was talking to her daughter.
Yeah. "Shut up, you brat." And then Madeline McCann goes to Portugal. 10% off Badly Became when you put Hot Tag 10 in. Fuck you, it's not PJ.
Spend my days looking hard on the go.
This was a good final show, boys. I'll be sure to put in some post thank you credits.
Don, while you are literally snotting all over yourself is the best way I can put it. Is there any other, pick one more if you like, quote that you were dead happy with out of what you got?
Yeah, definitely. I've got one more.
Yeah.
Men in
I love how
leather.
infused he is. It's the most infused he's been all night. I love it.
He's keeping me going.
This is like fucking pop, man. This is amazing. Men in leather and flannel get my motor running. So.
I love that you picked one that matches your Mighty Duck stop. That's the most coordinated you've ever looked. It also looks like you're a creepy trucker who's about to rape someone on Route 66.
Yeah, bit of collar breaks.
I'm all right with it. So, I'm invested. I'm invested. Sorry, lads.
So, I might have won back the crowd with this one.
No, Don, no more. Please. Please, Don, no more, please.
That's it.
There was about 10.
There was odd ones here and there, but I could give a less. I think that was the best of the best.
Yeah, okay, thank you for that. So there was about 8 women up there. 10.
It was unfortunately 10.
Yeah, 10 women, all different shapes, sizes, and varieties. As I say, Eric Bischoff decides that he's going to pick the winner. He begs the crowd. The crowd aren't interested one bit.
No.
He then creepily goes over to, the two who have tied it, apparently, who seem to be, not the ones I would have picked. But he says he's going to whisper them a question and no one else will hear because he's going to go. And does a little bit of a whisper in their ear. They then whisper the answer back into his ear, 2 of them. He then makes a decision. He then goes over to the winner, who is now Miss NWO. And the best way I can probably describe her is a bit of a cross between your nan and the cleaner off Family Guy. No. I clean. No. I clean. So your nan and that's who you get. He then proceeds to literally snog her, like tongues and everything. Like literally, he's got his tongue down her throat. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And
yeah,
that is the reason that this gets my 0-star gimmick. No match deserved it because they were all slow and steady, including the last one that we're about to talk about. But this fucking piece of shit that was the filler in between all the matches definitely deserves 0 stars.
Love the fact as well that there's a filler in between an 8-match card.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like 8 matches ain't enough.
So I did a little bit more research into who booked this, who produced this and that.
Eric Bischoff.
No, actually he didn't. The only thing that Bischoff said on 83 Weeks, because I covered this recently, he wanted to do like a sort of anti-beauty contest. So just get normal women and then do it that way. They weren't prepped. They weren't told what was going to happen. And you could clearly fucking tell.
Yeah, it was awful.
Jeff Katz actually is a Hollywood producer now. Well, was till a few years ago. He worked on Freddy vs.
He's producing Sharknado 2.
Sharknado 7. I don't think he's that good, mate.
No,
so,
not.
But yeah, it was crazy. Like, I just one of them. the one line that did make me laugh, the one line that might have saved this segment for me, coming from Bischoff, what's better than a woman with a hog? Sorry, that popped me.
Yeah, I did kind of pop a little bit of that, to be fair, because obviously he's into his bikes, isn't he?
Yeah. Context is an amazing thing, though, isn't it?
It is, but yeah. So, yeah.
I'm not rating this segment.
Anyway, it's time for the main event. Michael Buffer did not get a payday on this event because Neil Pruitt is the NWO ring announcer, end of story. But we are going into match 8 finally. It is for the World Championship Wrestling, World Heavyweight Championship. And Don is there.
Okay, last time.
The last time.
So this man is the biggest failure the NWO ever had, the Giant. And following him, this is what my notes say. Hogan has 4 lines of coke before his video is filmed on the 3 screens.
I'm the star. I'm the main event. I'm the icon. I'm the man.
Dallas Cowboy. Dallas Cowboy.
Super Bowl ring.
The biggest, this is the NWO announcer, the biggest icon in wrestling. And here's who you've been waiting for. Movie star. NWO.
Have you seen the nanny?
The biggest icon in wrestling.
Rocky Free.
Hollywood. Hulk Hogan.
3 Ninjas.
Yeah.
3 Ninjas.
Yeah.
Loser.
Yeah. Fucking amazing films they are.
So anyway, this match, let's just fucking get it over and done with because all the anticipation was worth nothing. It was a pretty but terrible match. The Giant obviously gets an initial shine, which lasts all of 2 seconds. Hogan powders, gets on top. He gives him a nice receipt, actually, Hogan does. He receipts the chop, which I enjoyed. And then, pretty much fucking Vincent, what's he doing out there? He gets involved and gets his head smashed off the rail. Hogan uses powder like he's against Yokozuna again. The Giant goes to the top rope. I'm thinking, fucking hell, what's he doing up there? Misses a big elbow drop. Hogan starts laughing about it.
In fairness, though, was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
To do that, you have to give him credit.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot more of that going on.
Yeah. I mean, the chokeslam was awful, though, wasn't it?
On Hogan?
Yeah, chokeslam was shit.
Name one chokeslam Hogan's ever taken where it's been good or even decent.
No, I'm all right, thanks.
I got all night.
Yeah, I haven't got all night to research it. Wikipedia doesn't tell me that. So there's no kick out. The ref calls for the shoulder being up twice. Then he pulls his shoulder. Nick Patrick then takes a choke slam. Out comes the NWO. Bischoff comes down. We got Bagwell. We got Vincent. We got Mr. Wall Street. We got Bubba. We got Six. And then we finally get him getting smashed with a guitar, followed by a dead stiff wooden chair that was out there for no other reason because they just brought it out to the ring with them for bants.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. And what
can I just say?
Yeah, of course you can, Mark, because it's very rare you do.
So, like, it's an NWO pay-per-view, yeah?
Yep.
Sold out. NWO versus WCW. It wasn't sold out, not quite. So why? This just correct me if I'm wrong. Stop me, please, if I'm wrong. So why, in the main event of this big fucking match, does the match have to wait for the NWO referee, who will not count the pinfall, to take a bump, for then the NWO to get involved? How in the right fucking mind is that? Am I missing something? What sort of psychology level is that fucking on?
The thing is, there wasn't any, was there? It was evident. There was no thought, no psychology, nothing that went in to this whole event, to be honest.
It's just lazy. It's lazy fucking booking.
And Don, as you say, you know, Eric did cover this on 83 Weeks with Conrad, and he was quite critical of himself throughout that podcast. And you know, the review that he read from Dave Meltzer was very interesting. I haven't got it word for word, but he basically calls it the worst fucking pay-per-view in the history of WCW. When you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and here we are.
I've actually got a quote from Meltzer.
Yeah, go on then.
About this show, actually to do with the previous segment. I would have preferred to watch a pay-per-view of someone masturbating for 3 hours. Direct quote from Meltzer there. But no.
Yeah, well, Meltzer also gave the last match 4 stars, so he doesn't fucking know what he's talking about either.
Well, Meltzer looks like a fucking nonce, so that's all I've got to say about
that. So
Diddling Dave, don't touch the kids.
So officially, he gets ruled out as a no contest. I don't know how that works. Either way, Hogan's still the champion. WCW lose by 6-2. This match goes 10 minutes, 52 seconds. I've give it 1 star. What are you lads saying?
Half a star, it was wank.
Yeah.
0.
Oh, fucking hell. Brutal, Mart. Absolutely brutal.
You know why? It's because Hogan is too much up his own fucking little arsehole that he can't even like think of the big picture. And that's just a fucking catastrophe. Because I'm saying you've got like a fucking tug of war between fucking bookers that on the one hand are saying, oh, we can't let the giant lose because obviously that's going to look bad on him and we need to give him a push. But then Hogan saying, oh no, I ain't going to lose that title. No, not to him, not to anybody. And it just pisses me off that like somebody can have so much of an ego that it fucking ruins like a perfectly good setup, which it was.
Brilliant, fantastic, and that
second episode of Martin's Meltdowns.
He sums it up absolutely fantastically.
Absolutely.
Because it is, without a doubt, Hogan's career all over. Time and time again, it's well documented now that it doesn't work for him, brother. And if it doesn't work for him, that he's gonna put his dummy in, and he's gonna play God and creative and ruin it for everybody else as long as he looks strong.
Yeah, I think as well, not just Hogan. I have to, as much as I don't want to play devil's advocate to this guy, I think this is Bischoff and WCW as well. They thought they could get away with anything if they went, oh, New World Order presents Dead Dog. $15.99 pay-per-view, bite you bastards. Like, I think they would have got away with that. I think this is realistic at the height of their sort of ego.
Yeah.
I think they could put a show on like this. I mean, I don't think they knew that the matches were going to be as bad as they were. Truthfully, I don't think they would have thought that the Miss NWO segment would have been as bad as it was. But it really was. And I think that's the reason why next year there's no NWO pay-per-view. It's a WCW pay-per-view.
Okay.
I think the stink was...
The thing as well, I think it paves... Yeah, it paves the way as well for like a group. Because obviously in later dates, you've got the DX pay-per-view. You've got the Rock Bottom pay-per-view, which is named after The Rock. And I think this sort of paves the way. And I think WWF in the long run learned from it. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
You know, it was just a polished shit, wasn't it, at the end of the day? It was,
I mean,
you know... It was a really good set. It had the look. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
black mats.
Yeah,
you know, potential. But...
It had a lot of potential, and I think that's the disappointing thing. It had a lot of potential, and I agree with some of the things that he did say on his 83 Weeks podcast, where you know he couldn't put Tony Schiavone in commentary because it was an NWO pay-per-view, but he just wasn't interested in being a play-by-play commentator at that point, like he was in 96 and 95 to an extent. Ted DiBiase, there was a reason that he only had one opportunity as a commentator in the WWF. He proved it again here. It's because although he can do all the talking in the world when it's a scripted promo and when he's got a storyline for himself to go at, he can't sell a show and he can't put over the matches. And that really, really hurt this pay-per-view as well, the poor commentary. It's just an awful show. Not something I'd recommend to go and watch at all, other than get yourself drunk with some people and try and enjoy it that way. We have overall rated it 1 star. Let's just go there. as an overall rating as a team, we have rated this pay-per-view 1 star. The WWF was 1.6 stars for the Royal Rumble. So January 1997, out of the 2 pay-per-views, it is definitely in your best interest to go and watch the 1997 Royal Rumble compared to this piece of shit.
I would say watch this pay-per-view, actually. I actually would say go watch it. Because if you watch it, there is good ideas there, like we've said. Just don't do what they did with those ideas.
Yeah, if you want to put people through 2 hours and 40 minutes of this shit, then fine, sell it all you want, but I ain't going to lie to them. Next
I'll make the money off it.
Next time round, we are back with the World Wrestling Federation for In Your House 13. Final 4 was the gimmick there. We all know why after the end of the Royal Rumble. We'll talk about it in more detail when we cover the pay-per-view. Looking forward to how that works out on the build-up to WrestleMania 13. And then we'll go back to WCW for, I believe, Super Brawl 7. Hopefully that is better than what happened here, and the Macho Man Randy Savage is included. Yeah. I'm sorry that this has not been the most infused.
Actually talks about the Macho Man as well on this show. Did you when he was talking about the Macho Man?
Yeah, they did a bit.
Yeah. And it was a bit of semi-shoot. I don't know what it was. But yeah.
Interesting.
Macho Man's coming up, I'm sure.
Good.
Coming up.
I want more Macho Man. I don't want Lex Luger, but I know I'm going to have to be forced through him.
I want Lex. Lex is good. Lex is good for a reason. I'm going to ruin every match of his for you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm all right with it. Yes, WCW Souled Out 1997. Pile of shit. But thank you for listening, watching, regardless. I have been Rob Campbell.
I've been Daniel, eating bratwurst and French fries cornfield.
I've been Martin. How the fucking hell am I supposed to follow that? Holland.
As always, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.